creepy and cool TikToks that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
This German triple-barreled naval turret was buried into solid rock during World War II. To install it, German engineers carved a 5-story bunker deep beneath the surface, turning a cliff into a fortress. Deep below, the shells and propellant were stored. To move the shells, German engineers built an ingenious hydraulic lift system. Each round was hoisted 5 stories up to barrel level, ready to fire. Just like on a warship, this 800-ton turret had to rotate. It rests on 138 steel balls, allowing the gun to swivel smoothly despite its massive weight. Built in 1942 in Norway, the Austrot fort was part of the Atlantic Wall fortifications. The gun was salvaged from the battleship Gneisenau, and each of its 280mm cannons could hurl 730-pound shells over 35 kilometers. Inside the underground complex, they built crew quarters, a power plant, a hospital, everything needed to live and fight from below ground. Today, the turret still sits there. It's one of the most complete examples of a World War II German coastal battery.
You know, at one point, German engineering was top-notch.
In America on the Egyptians, so you would say that those are not the real Egyptians, right?
When we're talking about like the movies that they made back in the Western society, like the Egyptians looking blonde and fair skin, and like, come on, Egyptians were either tan skin or dark Nubians. We don't say African Americans in Egypt, by the way. We say Africans or we say Nubians. So to us, you are a Nubian.
So that's why people keep calling me Nubian Queen.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you are Nubian to us. You are Nubia. So to the Nubians, we are Egyptians because we are the new Egyptians.
The new Egyptians.
The Nubians are the native Egyptians.
The
They were the ones who built ancient Egypt.
Wow.
Who built the pyramids, who built ancient Egypt civilization, who invented Egypt, as I would say, were the Nubians.
See,
And the Nubians, most of them are still alive, right?
This is the Inunaki Tunnel, and all Japanese people are so scared of it that even the Japanese government has completely barricaded the tunnel entrance. But the thing is, it's not the tunnel you should be scared of, but what's behind it. Because basically the area where Inunaki is located is super known for being haunted, so everyone thinks that's why. These are official government signs warning that you're entering an area where the country's laws no longer apply. Because at the time the village of Inunaki refused the emperor's authority, and it said that it was a village with some weird people. The rest will terrify you, but don't forget that I can only protect my subscribers who commented their first name. So even before reaching the tunnel, you're in danger since no law protects you anymore. But it gets worse from the moment you enter the tunnel, because there are some weird people, and as soon as the guard from outside came, he was eaten. And it is surely because of a disease that completely decimated the villagers and made the last ones crazy to the point of becoming cannibals. Share this video with a friend to save his life.
Okay.
Things from the Bible that have never been found. Noah's Ark. Garden of Eden. The Sword of Goliath. Tower of Babel. Jesus' crown of thorns.
Ooh.
Cross where Jesus was crucified. Lost books of the Bible.
Which is...
Holy Grail. Ark of the Covenant.
Noah's Ark was found in Turkey.
Vicious rumors targeting the father who heroically saved his daughter after she fell from a Disney cruise ship have been officially debunked by authorities. A 5-year-old girl fell from the 4th deck of the $900 million Disney ship as it sailed from the Bahamas to Fort Lauderdale. Her father dove into the Atlantic and kept her afloat for nearly 20 minutes until crew members launched a rescue boat and saved them both. A moment watched by hundreds of stunned passengers. But the heroic dad faced online backlash, accused of lifting his daughter onto the railing for a photo. Now, the Broward County Sheriff's Office has debunked that claim. Sheriff Gregory Toney confirmed the girl had been sitting on the railing when she accidentally fell backward through a porthole, and her father had nothing to do with it. With his heroic actions and the response from emergency services, this little girl's life was saved.
False rumors can be damaging. The police have confirmed the truth.
Have you guys seen some of the latest posts from Justin Bieber? I want you to take a look at this. First of all, notice these black marks on the back of the wall here. We're going to talk about that in just a second, okay? But so many weird gestures and faces. These are literally from June 2025. And notice all this black right here. Anyone know what that is? We're going to cover that in just a second. What's going on here? Biebs, what you doing, buddy? A closer look at these black marks. Then we have some suspicious white things going on here on the counter. More strange faces and gestures. And these white things have suddenly moved or changed places. I wonder what that is. But let's talk about these black marks on the frame here. If you know what that is, let us know in the comments. And if you guessed black mold, you're probably correct. Now, black mold takes a long time to grow. And considering they have hundreds of millions of dollars, in fact, $1 billion or more, why do they not have a clean bathroom? I feel like this is kind of the setup for something that's coming that's going to be much darker than black mold. Biebs, if you see this or your friends or family see this, please someone help him clean his bathroom to prevent something much worse happening to Biebs, or I don't know. 'Cause I just don't think anyone with $1 billion should have so much black mold all over their bathroom and mirror and be making faces like this. Like maybe the black mold's already done its job, I don't know. Or maybe we're being set up. I do have some dark predictions for the Biebs, like living like this, making these faces. I feel like a Michael Jackson situation is on its way. You know what I mean? So dark predictions for the Biebs.
There's no way, Hailey Bieber, the epitome of clean girl aesthetic, lives in a house with a bedroom that looks like that. It's clearly somewhere else.
2 people have been charged in relation to the death of a TikTok star. Christopher White, who had amassed over 100,000 followers on TikTok, died after being shot on a beach in New Jersey on June 12th. The 18-year-old was pronounced dead at the scene after suffering a single gunshot wound. The last video he posted was taken on the beach where he was killed. 18-year-old Dwayne Exelis and an unnamed underaged teen boy have been charged.
Rest in peace, Christopher. Front of Pfizer official. Okay. I think I saw the original animation. Hey, but this is king.
In Miami, what happened?
What happened in Miami?
So, we're speaking of like apocalypse shit, right?
Okay.
You know what happened in Miami?
I heard something happened in Miami, but I didn't know
what happened.
Back this. Miami, 60 police cars pull up to the mall. Why?
I seen this.
A long time ago.
Apparently, aliens have arrived.
Yeah, that's... It was, fam, if you saw the strip, it was all red and blue lights.
Yo, that's fucked.
Yeah.
So, there's this guy, and he's going viral on TikTok. Pretty much, like, he came out and said, yo, I was in the mall, and I was seeing everything that was going down. So at first, he started hearing, like, firecrackers. He thought it's just some kids, like, messing around, right? And then that's what everybody else, like, their assumption was as well.
Yeah.
But he's saying, in the video, search it up, it's this black guy, he's talking about it. He was saying, he heard the fireworks, but he started to think like, wait, this sounds like gunshots almost, right?
Yeah.
So he ends up running throughout the mall, and as he's ready to run with his family, he looks, and this is his claim. he sees like 10-foot shadow beings, like teleporting and shooting.
Oh my gosh, bro! Like beams.
Teleporting, like they would be in one position and then teleport and then shoot shit.
Nah, that's so.
But I don't know if it was like.
Don't ask me where I am. Don't ask me nothing. But it is crazy.
That's creepy.
See, I've never been inside one of these places, but some of you guys have. So can you please explain this? Because that does not look benevolent. In fact, I get a very weird vibe from these types of places, and I see a lot of occult imagery. So someone please explain. If you guys are so transparent and charitable, then what is all of this? It seems to me that it might be something much more sinister going on.
My guess is a satanic ritual space, like Freemason.
Okay guys, we've got some pretty serious breaking news right now. Now something big is brewing, but we don't know exactly what. So firstly, Donald Trump, he leaves the G7 summit early, a whole day early. He then goes ahead and tells everyone in the capital of Iran, Tehran, to evacuate immediately. But then he doesn't say exactly why. India then follows suit. They tell their nationals to leave Iran as well. China, they come along and then they say everyone should flee Israel because they heard that Iran, and this is the quote, Iran say that they are planning for the largest and most intense missile attack in history on Israeli soil. And the thing is, people are listening. Footage shows hordes of scared people fleeing Tehran right now. And in the latest strikes that Israel have hit Iran with, they hit a state broadcasting center building. And this is during a live broadcast. And they also killed Iran's chief of staff. The big question is the United States going to officially join this conflict or not? That is the thing that everyone is wondering right now. And I guess I'll keep you guys updated as this thing develops.
Boom. Now we back, y'all. Another old world building. Y'all see? Wow. They say that this is, I think this like, what these two?
It's beautiful.
Come right here. These two is like the only two that made it out the Chicago fire or something like that. And when I be saying stuff about the underground part, y'all could tell like part of it is underground because the first floor is just like short as hell and it don't match the other proportions of the building. But yeah, look at the architecture. Just pay attention to the architecture. It's all like in plain sight for real. Old world building, that's another one right there. And I'm right to next the other one right here. I'm gonna show y'all a better view later.
They used to feed black babies to alligators. It's not a figure of speech. It's not hyperbole. It's not a metaphor. None of that. They used to feed black babies to alligators. And now there's a new facility being built in the Everglades of Florida. They're calling that Alligator Alcatraz. Newspapers like the Oakland Tribune in 1923 and the Washington Times in 1908 reported that black children were used as bait for alligator hunting. One account described hunters paying a black mother $2 to use their child for this very purpose. Another report from 1908 described how zookeepers from New York Zoological Gardens used black babies to lure out alligators from their pits. By the early 1900s, the use of this trope was widespread. It was just a part of popular culture. Postcards, figurines, cartoons, they all commonly depicted black children as being threatened by alligators, being completely aloof, often using the exaggerated racial features that we see expressed and depicting any stereotype. And this was the kind of content that white people consumed for entertainment. This was like a novelty, humorous enough. This wasn't limited to just trinkets and small items. This was used also as a racial slur. Bob Gibson, a Hall of Fame pitcher, recalls this phrase being shouted at him during games in the Jim Crow South. Even the University of Florida used to chant, "You ain't a gator, you gator bait." This is how harmful phrases with racist origins get repurposed for general use. Now today in the Florida Everglades, they're building a detention center and they're calling it Alligator Alcatraz. This is an ICE detention center, basically a concentration camp that is surrounded by alligators. And black immigrants are being deported. And I'm sure amongst those are people who are not here illegally. And for those black people who have somehow along the way lost compassion for others, just realize you are on the road to being just like your oppressors. There were people online talking about black people can't be deported. There's been historical events in the past where they've proposed ideas to move black people out of America. And there's been talks about not just deporting citizens, deporting detractors. I mean, this is in line with what we spoke about with just general dictatorship. Ultimately, we have to understand our history, man. We have to. In 8 days, they built a facility with 5,000 plus beds surrounded by a moat filled with alligators and snakes. This is some villain shit. Then you got this crazy lady here who looks like Jigsaw from the Saw series talking about there's 65 million meals if we get started today. There's currently 65 million Latinos in the United States. This is just how deranged these people are. You got a literal concentration camp that you guys flew down for the grand opening of. Is that not insane to y'all? All right. The other thing is that they're selling merch. They're selling merch.
If you haven't heard the latest going around as of today, apparently it's yet to be peer reviewed. So this is for entertainment purposes only, TikTok. That's it. It has not been peer reviewed yet. But they just released a study saying that essentially what they think is that a planet roughly about 50 times the size of Jupiter, or a mass about 50 times the size of Jupiter, entered our solar system and basically mixed up all of the orbits and is screwing around with the planets. I'm sorry. This is just getting ridiculous at this point. I don't know what to say. Maybe it's Nibiru? Is it Nibiru? Are they trying to, trick us into thinking that this is some new revelation, that they didn't go over Planet 9 or Planet X, what was it, a decade ago? And they said they figured they found it and it had this elongated orbit that was going to come back around. It was massive. And now they're saying, oh, there's some sort of massive planet that just entered our solar system and is pulling around the planets, just mixing stuff up. Things are getting very weird very quick. They are. I have nothing else to say. It's just funny at this point. I don't know. I love you, bye.
They're trying to cover up something.
Whoa. Oh my gosh. What is that?
Go in there.
All right, let's go inside. Oh. Okay, you guys ready? Oh man.
After you, sir.
Looks pretty sandy. I mean, it would help if I didn't have cameras and stuff. Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
I'm just kidding, don't go in there.
Yeah, I need 2 hands. Ow, and a hard hat. Anyway. Oh, this is cool. Whoa. Oh, wow. Whoa. Is there a bird up there? Oh, it's a rock. This is cool. Look at this formation right here.
Watch out for snakes,
it's like
man.
split down right the middle of this cave. It's gold. Oh. Not all who wander are lost. It's kind of annoying. But hey, J.S. June 17th, 1917. Dang. This is really cool. This is really
it's a long time ago.
Splotches. Look at this cave. Wow, it's beautiful. Huh. Well, I can say now that it was worth it, right? That's how it goes. I know. But when you're already just, spend all your energy, it's just, it's just one of those things. But, just see if I can see anything else. Maybe something was there. Now it's gone. This is cool. Like, how long has this cave been here? A couple weeks, couple months? Tens of thousands of years? This is beautiful. Look at the layers right here. Oh, it's nice to get out of the wind. Yeah, it just goes back maybe 18 feet or so. That's kind of it. Oh, 2013 maybe? Huh. Yeah, I can see how not a lot of people would want to come up here. It's pretty brutal.
Okay.
Wow. So cool. These little streaks of yellow, orange. Well, I'm glad we did that. This one has a lot of droppings in it, kind of large, like a fox or something. So I'm not going to go in that one.
Good choice.
So at this time in the 1500s, energy was free everywhere, in some places more than others. All over the maps in the 1500s, you will see square-shaped buildings with antenna top as free, independent energy cities, who were not controlled by the chaotic ionic atmospheres of AC, DC, electrical currents, but would have to be a member of and allowed to be entered into these walled cities, which gave them protection against the giants for the atmospheres that they created under the Orgone energy laws, in the range of making the simple 50% organic and 50% inorganic material layers, creating this Orgone energy field a generator of an energy itself that also realigns the atmosphere and the ions, creating a barrier and a field. The giants, when they enter into the barrier with their lack of moisture to the cellular structure, receive a static shock to the equivalent to the arc off of a welding machine. Something that would happen to keep them from designated areas from the Earth's alignment of the elements naturally. These arcs were crippling and devastating to the cellular structure of the giants because it would fuse them together like two pieces of metal wherever they were struck. This is where the deception from Atlantis and Mu came in against Ethiopia. But with these Orgone generators and these Orgone fields, they only amplify and grow bigger and bigger in all the farming plantation continents that were under rule by them, which, as it speaks for itself on the maps, was close to 70% of the world. So with Atlantis and Mu's knowledge about the arc of the light instantly turning things to stone and melting them, upon contact strike, they waited their time for the lower empires to blindly build their energy fields to prime the atmosphere for a time when the plasma ball in the sun will strike. A knowledge known to Zeus, twin of the north, the repeat happening to the tree of life, rich with metals in its fibers. An all-organic Orgone generator pulled the plasma ball into contact by the nature of its existence, by receiving the full shock, the mix of scorching and petrification, with the mass amount of metal fibers throughout its structure, became the most magnetic force on the surface of this earth, and named the Black Rock for the hidden secrets about the ethers in this realm. The same secrets that Atlantis and Mu used against Ethiopia and Lemuria when they tricked them into the Orgone energy systems to prime their atmospheres to be struck by the plasma ball in the scorchings of the earth of the 1500s, counting backwards from the flood of the 1600s.
Alright, we might have to abandon. Come on, let's go. Come on. Come on, it's coming.
Camping is supposed to be an escape into nature. A chance to unwind beneath the stars. But for these campers, it became something far more terrifying. Tonight, we're diving into 6 of the most disturbing camping encounters ever caught on camera. These moments will make you think twice before venturing into the wild. Tyler is an experienced outdoorsman. He's faced storms, wild animals, and long nights in the woods. But what happened on this trip left him completely shaken. Tyler and his friend Marvin had set up camp. Tyler in his truck, Marvin in a nearby tent, when their phones suddenly buzzed with an emergency alert, a tornado warning.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I am out here at the beautiful campgrounds known as Yellowbanks. I come here quite a bit actually. It was storming, raining pretty bad It said it was going to rain all night, but I don't think it's going to. But hey, bonus if it does. Kind of jealous, dude. I don't know.
He said, "Can I hang out?
Can I hang out in your shelter?" I know the truck looks cozy and all, but there's just something about a nice hot tent setup, a little TP hot tent, to kind of get the camping vibes going. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Our phones are going off saying that we're in a tornado warning right now.
Wow.
Woo, it's about to get interesting tonight. Yes,
We're
sir.
gonna go home.
If you're not from the Midwest, you wouldn't understand, but we love tornadoes. We don't get scared. We don't run away. We go out and we chase them. We show them who's the boss. It's our turf. It's our block, right?
Moments later, sirens echoed through the air, and dark storm clouds started rolling in. Still, they weren't too worried at first.
I don't know if you guys can hear it, but tornado sirens are going off now. Which is surprising, you know, it's not really surprising this time of year. I mean, the other day it was like 65 degrees out. Day before that was like 20 degrees. So weather fluctuating like that, hot, cold, perfect brewing temps for a tornado. So closer, I guess, to us.
They kept going with their plans, preparing food and chatting, until the wind picked up. Rain lashed the truck, and then came the second tornado. It hit with force.
Alright, we might have abandoned. Come on, let's go. Come on. Come on, it's coming.
Tartaria was everywhere, and history as we know it has been completely fabricated. At first we thought maybe the Dark Ages were just unclear, but it turns out they were invented to push a lot of events further into the past. We realized that it wasn't just small parts of history that might be wrong. Everything was made up. One fascinating thing is the architecture we find around the world. In almost every city, you'll find ancient Gothic-style buildings with incredibly intricate designs. People look at them and say, oh, that's just how they built things back then. But some of these buildings are absolutely stunning. Think about it. If we lived in a feudal society where everyone was working just to survive, how would anyone have had the time, resources, or motivation to build something so elaborate and that worked the way they did? These buildings weren't just practical structures like free energy generators. They were artistic expressions. They were built to be functional and beautiful, to celebrate what was being created. But we don't build like that anymore. The complexity and beauty of these structures are clues that we didn't live in the same pay-to-survive system we're trapped in now. Tartaria was a global civilization, incredibly advanced and powered by free energy, likely based on etheric energy. It existed up until about 200 or 250 years ago. Estimates place its early origins around the mid-17th century, and its destruction came shortly after. They've been lying to you all along.
Has anyone else noticed that animals all over the world have been acting very strange recently? First off, pet owners have been reporting that their cats and dogs have been more clingy than usual, as well as more anxious and defensive, even in normal situations. In other cases, owners have reported that their pets absolutely refuse to go outside or even move, which has led some people to believe that they know something that we don't. People have also been reporting that birds have been chirping basically 24/7, including times like 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. Birds have also been mysteriously unaliving and falling out of the sky in several different states. Specifically, snow geese and pelicans have been falling out of the sky and not being alive anymore over in Pennsylvania, while birds over in California have mysteriously been spontaneously exploding out of nowhere. Theories on why the animals are acting strange have been circulating, from some believing that it has to do with CERN opening up a portal through its Hadron Collider, to others believing that the Earth's electromagnetic field or the Earth's Schumann resonance has changed, which has caused strange behavior in animals.
What is going on here? Then you walk around. organic flower. Look what's holding this thing up. You got, so just, I know scale's hard in the camera, but so, you know, 4 fingers width. And there's a little more over here. I mean, that's a big old chunk of sandstone. You know, out here in the desert, you see a lot where there's like a softer layer of rock. I think this is like a shale or mudstone, kind of same thing. And then you've got a harder layer on top. So that erodes at a slower speed than what's below it. From a distance, I was trying to figure out, you know, like, what is this? Is it sand? Is it rock? So over there, I just spotted, I think that's some petrified wood. Let's go take a look at that. Yep, that's definitely what it is. It's kind of crazy. I mean, look at it. Looks like a sawmill out here. All these little pieces on the ground. Listen to the sound of it. It was wood, now it's rock.
Who else saw the sage? Don't tell me I'm the only one.
When she rolls over, oh, wow!
Yeah. What movie is this? Looks like a movie.
Goodness. Where's my phone? Whoa. Look at the width of that thing. This is a monster. She is huge. And now she's belly side. I can't do anything. No. We're armed, but I was a young male that one that went away. Okay, she's not here now.
Oh, there she is.
Oh yeah, but I'm not gonna shoot her. Oh my goodness. My goodness. That is amazing.
She's gonna eat the gun.
She's trying to. Whoa.
What is this? Is this a movie?
Nice positioning by the sub-captain. This is fantastic.
Wow, look at the size. I mean, this female, she's definitely bigger than the sub is long.
Yeah.
It's a lot of reports that's coming out of people seeing fire in the sky. Should we panic? Should we worry? Live in fear? Go underground? I just want to say, it's not missiles you are seeing. It's not UAPs. It's not bombs coming from another country. It's something way deeper. I need people to remember this because we had a solar eclipse that put an X across America. This was really a warning. The people that control this world knew this shit was going to take place. They knew the fire in the sky was coming. They tried to tell us, but of course we don't take nothing serious. Our attention span is so small that it's on to the next event. Remember Trump was speaking about putting the Golden Dome up across America? Well, he got that idea from Ronald Reagan. The Golden Dome is a part of this. It's a movie that came out in 1975. The title is Fire in the Sky, based on true events. Well, it's taking place right now. This video is about to get a little deep. Stay with me. These are not missiles. There are meteors, but it's a different kind of meteor. First, you need to understand what a meteor really is. A meteor is a destroyer, and at the same time, it gives life. God gives life and also destroys. If a meteor hit this planet, it's going to give new life to a different life form. The fire in the sky is just a warning. I need people to understand this. We are all on a spiritual mission. If you don't want to do your spiritual purpose, you will be wiped out. The fire in the sky we'll wipe you out. Remember all the stories they told us when we was young about dinosaurs and the meteor came and wiped them out? He said it was fire in the sky and it wiped out all the dinosaurs. And once it killed the dinosaurs, it gave life to us. Well, these wasn't really dinosaurs. It was something called reptilians. The dinosaur story was just a cover-up. They did not want us to know that there was a group of aliens that was here before us. And the fire in the sky wiped them out. Now in 2025, we are seeing fire in the sky. This is the reason why people are hearing loud booms all over America. Those loud booms is preparing you for something. Everything in the universe is a system and they have a purpose. If you look at every life form on this planet, they are doing their purpose. But when you look at us, we do whatever the fuck we want to do. The universe is tired of us. If we don't complete our mission, the universe don't complete its mission. It's a big ass universe and we are really small. The fire in the sky or the meteor is made out of certain material that gives life. It's all about minerals. Look at us. We have 102 minerals in our body, just like an asteroid. When you go back and listen to these dinosaur stories, they say millions and millions of years ago this event took place. That's bullshit. Once again, it was not dinosaurs, it was the reptilians. This story really took place in the year 1776. What you are looking at right now is a meteor or asteroid up close. What you are looking at right here is the moon. The moon came here in 1776.
Solar flares?
Did you notice what happened to the sky when the camera panned upwards? While the sky pixelated, the building remains free of any pixelation. Let's take another look at the clip. When examining the image, the sky shows pixelation, and the building, on the other hand, shows no pixelation at all. This should not be happening when a camera refocuses. The entire scene should be blurry or pixelated until it refocuses, and then the whole scene becomes clear when the camera is in focus. Check this out. Now pay attention to the sky and the building. As I previously said, the building remains unpixelated, but the sky clearly shows pixelation. This shows that there is something obfuscating our view of the sky, and something is being hidden. That blue sky looks fairly clear apart from a few trails that can be seen. So what could they possibly be hiding? There seems to be nothing but blue sky. Shall we take a look? Now pay close attention. What you are seeing is a very small section of the mechanism that gives us our sky. I will point some parts out for you just in case you are having trouble deciphering the image. Now focus on the image. I'll leave you to soak it in, and I will see you in the next video. One love.
It's like a giant TV screen.
Of course, these are just my own thoughts and interpretations. I could be totally off, but it's something to think about. I've seen this symbol in several different places over the years, and I keep asking myself, what does it actually represent? And I know we can't know for certain, but it's a circle with a section that juts out from one side. I've done my own research, and after exploring so many ancient sites across the desert, I started wondering, have I seen something like this before? Not as a petroglyph, but in another form? And then it hit me. The symbol kind of looks like a kiva, but from above. If you're not familiar, a kiva is a special structure used by the ancestral Puebloans. and still by modern Puebloan peoples for religious, cultural, and communal purposes. It's usually circular and built into the ground. Take a look at this great kiva in Chaco Canyon. Doesn't it resemble the shape of that symbol? So what would a reconstructed kiva look like? Is there even such a thing? Well, we're in luck. There is a fully reconstructed Great Kiva at Aztec Ruins National Monument in New Mexico. It's an incredible place that you can actually visit. I was there a few weeks ago and got the chance to go inside. Now here's another thought I had. Why are these symbols attached to bodies? And notice their hands. These figures have always intrigued me, especially the way they're each doing something different with their hands. What are they meant to represent? What are they trying to show us through these gestures?
Climb, how about if once upon a time it was a sea filling up that canyon?
Discovery Houston for JO. Morning, JO. We predict the maneuver to the supply water dump attitude will take about 15 minutes, and in order to start the dump on time, we'd like for you to do that maneuver now. We need it to prevent contamination.
Okay, I understand you want us to start the supply water dump now, or at least initiate the maneuver now.
We'd like for you to initiate the maneuver, and then when you get there, initiate the water dump.
Understand.
They saw how ghetto Earth was and dipped.
What is going on in the skies over El Paso, Texas? It seems like every day there's a brand new sighting of something that doesn't belong in the nighttime sky. A woman and her son were out in their backyard when they heard something flying over that did not sound or look like a plane. She took her phone and quickly recorded. Take a look at this video. Look at this.
What the fuck? Look at that, holy shit!
What is that? What is this? Watch.
Mom! Shh! Dude, what the fuck was that?
Excuse the language, but I don't blame them. What the heck was that? It seems like every day we're starting to see different unidentified flying objects over major cities in the US and around the world.
Nah, the US.
What are your thoughts on what the heck that was? Let me know in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
SpaceX rocket returning from the space.
I've been trying to tell y'all, killer whales are just waterproof black air forces and fins. Their entire personality is bullying every name on the ocean census for no reason at all. Let me explain why this video is way worse than you actually think. It's actually well known that orcas will tail slap their prey. It's the fastest way to make a seal join the Air Force.
That.
This video was filmed in Mexico, and there were actually 6 of these hood dolphins taking turns slapping the stingray. And after getting bodied the first time, the stingray was too weak to get away, so the orcas just kept violating
Oh my
it.
goodness.
And this went on for an hour and a
Dead
half.
orcas.
Scientists watching this thought the orcas would just eat the stingray afterwards. Instead, when the stingray finally became past tense, all 6 orcas just watched it lifelessly sink to the bottom of the ocean. This wasn't about food or survival. Nah, these homicidal Oreos spent 90 minutes jumping a stingray because they thought it was fun. Orcas don't operate on survival, they live off malicious intent. They're one of the few animals that will go out of their way to torture and murk other animals for fun. They'll literally spend hours violating seals, penguins, and stingrays and not even eat them in the end. And that's another ballpark of disrespect. One scientist watched an orca chase a penguin for half an hour, snap its neck, and then leave its soul-divorced body floating on the surface. Moral of this video? Sharks don't run the ocean. This steroid zebra guppy does. The only reason they don't go after people is because they see themselves in us.
There ain't nobody convincing me that we are the advanced civilization. Surely by now, after all the episodes I've done of this, that you guys at home are pretty convinced that we are not the advanced civilization. But if not, let's check out this place right here called the Les Halles in Paris. So very, very recently, underneath this structure, they have just discovered an 800-year-old perfectly intact structure that nobody ever knew about, that apparently was built with hammer and chisel and horse and carriage. You know, apparently in this day and age, we are using cutting edge technology and advanced systems, yet all of our roads are filled with potholes. It just makes me laugh when you actually look at the things we were taught about in history and in our indoctrination system. Like, do we all remember this photo right here? Because this was staged. But obviously this was just for entertainment, guys. Clearly I don't really believe that the other civilizations before us were more advanced, because we are the advanced civilization. I'm as fictional as a dinosaur, baby.
We got a lot of strange UFO stuff popping up in the news all this week, like this image caught by NASA. Some people are saying when you blow that up and you get it bigger, like up there, it looks like an alien mothership over the Earth. Now, I'm not saying it is or it's not an alien mothership. I'm just telling you what people say it looks like. But that's not the only thing popping up in the news UFO related this week. Scientists in Colombia found this thing, some type of mystery sphere. It's related to a UFO sighting, and they say they've never seen anything like it. Now, we've all seen silver balls before, ball bearings, but not like this. Because the scientists investigating this thing say there's no tool marks, no hinges, no nothing. That this metal ball or sphere moves around on its own, does whatever it wants. Almost like me. Except I have tool marks, scars on my knees, and hinges, like my elbow. But what do you think about all the weird UFO shenanigans going on all around us? You can either twiddle your fingers or let me know in the comment section. Shabadoo Bushkis, Shabadoo.
I don't believe NASA anymore.
You must never tell the humans.
The flat earth makes way more sense, but I started looking at all their claims and I started like trying to debunk like the flat earth. I'm like, this is so stupid that there's people out there that believe in this. And I start like thinking to myself, like, how do I know I live on a globe again? And I'm like, well, obviously the moon landing is faked, but how do I know that I'm on a globe? And I start trying to like relearn the heliocentric model with an adult, mind. Because, like, it's one thing to learn it as a kid. You're just trying to pass the test. Whatever these people say, okay, whatever. But then you're, like, learning as an adult, like, they're saying that we're traveling around the sun at 66,600 miles per hour. And we're on a negative axis of 66.6 degrees. And then you learn how Polaris, the North Star, just stays there. And how all the other stars and constellations rotate around that, and you just start asking questions, and I just couldn't debunk it. It got to the point where it just Like I started studying their curvature formula, and then I just realized that there is no curvature, and I totally debunked it.
The Earth is not a spinning ball. Gravity is just a theory. There's never been any experiment that proves the Earth's supposed motion. It all proved motionless. There's plenty evidence for the flat Earth. You just have to be willing to look. Do your research. This is for entertainment purposes.
Globe is more ridiculous if you think about it.
This is the Pyramid of the Sun, and it's one of the largest pyramids in the world.
And no one really knows who built this place. It completely predates Aztecs.
This entire area was once an ancient city that was bigger than Rome.
At one point, this place had 200,000 people living in it. It was the 6th largest city. Archaeologists found a pool of mercury underneath this pyramid, and mica, which is not native to this area. Mercury is electrically conductive. So they actually use mercury in like thermostats and electrical devices. Mercury was extremely rare and dangerous, and mica is an electrical insulator as well. And that is actually not native at all to the area that they were in. They literally got that from 3,000 miles away. Mica can withstand extreme heat, so they literally use it in toaster ovens and microwaves and stuff like that. And you can compare this to the Vimana legends. You can compare this to the Great Pyramids of Giza. There's always some sort of electrical component to these structures, these ancient structures. And maybe we're misinterpreting the purpose of these structures. Maybe the purpose of these structures were actually more complicated than we give them credit for.
This is very interesting. So much has been hidden. It almost feels like the wall was, destroyed and rebuilt.
Be to God, it's really easy to see. They're not going to make it obvious for you. It's going to be in plain sight. This is how this works. It has nothing really to do with a karmic retribution system. Rather, what I would say is BLM, black magic. You're awakening or weakening, dazed and weak through the days of the week. Now, what does this look like right in front of you? And all I did was just type in the Grand Canyon. Can you see? Let's zoom in. It's that easy. It's right in front of you. Like I said, they're not going to put yellow caution taping. Attention, we have found pyramids in the Grand Canyon. The whole thing is a foundation of previous civilizations. I can't imagine what it would have looked like. I would love to see AI in that essence, AI done correctly, because I would love to see that. My imagination just, yep, that seems right. Caves everywhere. It's not like I'm making this stuff up. You can't even go see half of this stuff yourself. It's already government barricaded, highly government controlled, just like any other national park, which is a lot of other things that happen in these places. You know what I'm saying? So we can already tell that this is not what they're telling us. Yeah, it all got petrified, melted, turned into stone, scarred, scared, however you want to look at that. They are melted structures. It's like taking a sun, a DEW, direct energy, a laser harness sun weapon, and using it like a magnifying glass, aiming it at a certain location, and this would be the remnant. It's obvious that these are pyramids. It's obvious this was a thriving civilization, and I'm not talking Native Americans. I'm talking stuff that would blow all of our minds. I'm talking trees of life that touch the top of the firmament. They go all the way to the top, to the bottom. As above, so below. The deeper the roots, that means they're going to go is just as high in the sky. These are all structures that, when are we going to get a team of trusted individuals that are not government related to make understanding of all this? It's something that we can all agree on, because the pyramids are there, the sculptures are there, the faces are there, the caves are there, the awareness is there. I mean, it's not just a coinkydink. This stuff's all around the world. And there would be no difference between this, which is in Arizona, right? Phoenix rises, the rise of the phoenix, that's penis, versus the rose of the Venus, that's what Lucifer is. This is Saturn, Satan. Ziar Philippe, the love and the power of horses, which would be Roswell, which is Adrena, Google Chrome. Caesar, Borgia, Pan, pineal gland, Zeus, Jesus and Zeus. Goats, gods. This is right in front of you. Isis temple, what they're claiming, and it has nothing to do about the details. We can acknowledge
the bigger relevance. Egypt, which would be Egypt, Begot.
Egypt.
Granddad Ra.
Oh, Grand Canyon. They don't want us finding the truth, because if we do, they know the power, us humans hold.
Something's going on. Something is going on. My daughter lives near Collierville, Tennessee. She went into a Walmart to do some shopping today, which she rarely does. And they were removing all the meat from the counters, putting it in shopping carts and putting it in the back. And she stopped one of them and she's like, hey, I need a roll of that hamburger. Yeah, we can't sell you this meat. She was like, why? And he's all, I don't know. We were told to remove it all from the counters and we're not allowed to sell it. So she's like, whatever. So she walks over to the dairy counter where, the cheese is and all that. No eggs, no milk, all removed off the shelves. So she's like, nah. She found somebody. She's like, get me a manager out here. A manager came out and my daughter's like, what's going on? Like, he wouldn't let me buy hamburger meat. I need to get milk. I need to get eggs. And he's like, we received a memo this morning at our morning meeting, and we were told to remove all of this from all the shelves and not to sell any of it to the customers. My daughter was like, why? And he's like, I don't know. We don't have a reason. We were just told to say we're not allowed to sell it. My daughter goes to another Walmart down there. Same shit. Why are they removing all the meat and all the dairy off the shelves and not allowing people to buy them?
I don't know. The World's Fair. All of this was in 1800s?
Freemasonry were given knowledge by the giants before us. Oh, now you see the hidden hand passed down to those with the secret knowledge. There were giant humans about 15 to 30 feet tall all the way back to Adam and Eve. There must have been so many of them as the doors of old world buildings are accounted for them. Today we see humans getting taller. Are the genes of the giants making a return? Does the blood type make a difference? What we do know is that the giants walked with men, and there were more species of human than what is seen today.
They only show white giants. Where are the black giants?
This is the most important mural that's ever been created in human history. It tells us everything. In this depiction, and I want to break it down, the two beings on the other end are the Anuna. That's why they have wings, and that's why the horns on their helmets have multiple horns that represent status. They're not kings, they're the beings that we think of as the Anuna, our creators. In this depiction, you're seeing our two Anuna on either side passing rulership, kingship, to rule over us to two different individuals. One of them is a king and one of them is a priest. Now notice those two beings with the wings, they're passing this. You see that? What they're passing is the symbol of the pine cone. And in their hand, they have the handbag. Remember Pillar 43 and Göbekli Tepe? It's got the same handbag symbol below it. The Anuna, they know all. They know everything in the universe. They are more powerful than we can ever understand. They seem to somehow be related to creation. They're passing the pine cone behind the head, pineal gland. They're passing the knowledge to the king and the priest for how to rule over humanity.
The only king is Jesus Christ.
Most people think empathy is a gift, a sign of light, healing, and softness. But what if it's just an amplification? And what happens when that amplification gets twisted? Enter the dark empath. They feel everything, just like any other empath. But instead of being overwhelmed, they learn to manipulate. This isn't about villainy, it's about soul strategy. Some souls go through trauma so layered, so repeated, they develop emotional sonar, not to connect, but to protect. They learn what people feel before those people even realize it themselves, and then they use it. Dark empaths don't shout. They mirror, reflect, absorb, and redirect. It's alchemy through emotion, but turned inward. Spiritually speaking, a dark empath is a fractured empath. A soul that once used its sensitivity to uplift, but flipped its gift after too many betrayals. Now they read instead of heal, control instead of console. Are they dangerous? Maybe. Sometimes they're just wounded seers, walking lie detectors, empaths in armor. And the question is, can that energy be redeemed? Or was it never dark in the first place?
Dark empath is a nightmare for narcissists.
Oh, look at this shit. An ancient tree discovered in New Zealand contains a 4,200-year-old record of reversal of Earth's magnetic field. Now, remember when we was talking about megalithic trees, megalithic creatures, and shit like that? They're slowly starting to put it out, y'all. Now, mind you, we've been talking about megalithic structures, creatures, petrified, everything, yo. Like, look at this shit, y'all.
It's like a bird. It's a doggy.
Like, look at that.
It's a snake.
Look at this dragon head, y'all. They gonna say it was a dinosaur, but we already know the truth.
Look at that.
Look at this Nephilim hand. Look at this shit. These things is the things that they don't want us to know. Yo. I keep telling y'all. Look at the face in the mountain, bro. You can even see the teeth still on that joint. Like, peep this, y'all. Do y'all not see the resemblance? These type of structures exist all over the planet, bro. Flat planet.
You and me, you know what we gotta do? We gotta talk, because allegedly we've had our first communication with the Anunnaki this weekend. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, after the alleged meteorite fell to the ground, a message from the Anunnaki allegedly came through in Alabama, and more specifically Georgia, during a national television broadcast. In this alleged message that lasted for up to 3 minutes, the Anunnaki message claimed to say that they knew about the galactic war that was going on above us in space. They knew about the wars here on Earth. They also knew about the meteorite that fell to the ground, which it wasn't a meteorite. They also claimed that a lot more weird and bizarre and unexpected weather conditions and anomalies would be taking place in the coming months. In this message, the Anunnaki did claim to say that they are here to help. They are not here for any other thing, but they are here to help mankind. Now, have you heard this? And are you perhaps someone who actually saw this message? Now, I have received videos and stories and messages from people claiming all of these things, but I specifically want to know if you've heard about this. Do you know about this, or did you see this? Because after I went down the rabbit hole, a lot of the things are adding up. But I want to hear from all of you, because after the meteorite fell, this message has now come across our screens. So drop it in the comments. Let me know what you know about this, and if you've seen it or you know someone who has.
No.
And remember, anything we talk about is for learning, information, and entertainment purposes only, because it's up to you to believe what you want to believe. It's not up to anyone else. So drop it in the comments and help me get this video to as many people as possible.
This is the only evidence that 3 women witnessed the crucifixion of Christ and are still alive. And the most chilling part? They're now being hunted. In 1897, a long-lost Vatican Codex was accidentally discovered in the underground archives of St. Peter's Basilica. The text spoke of 3 women who had not been touched by time, witnesses to the crucifixion, guardians of a sacred secret. For centuries, no one took it seriously. But then the images started to surface. Old photographs, wartime newspapers, records from revolutions. And in them, the same 3 women, identical, in different countries, with the same eyes, still deep and empty. In 2008, a Spanish historian managed to recover part of the codex. It read, "They swore to protect the blood of truth, but if they are found, the seal will break." Weeks later, he was found dead in his home, his face frozen in a forced smile, as if he'd seen something divine or monstrous. In April of this year, The 3 women were seen for the last time. In Jerusalem, security cameras captured them walking toward the Western Wall and vanishing. At that exact moment, a mild earthquake shook the city. The ground split open, and something beneath it took a breath.
3 women keeping a secret? Come on, man.
You're looking at what may be the face of Jesus Christ. In a moment, I'm going to show you evidence that proves this is the face beyond a reasonable doubt. In a series of videos, we're going to go step by step how this image was formed and how everything was found on the cloth.
My God.
While Jesus is still on the cross, a small linen, the sudarium, covers his face for dignity. Bright arterial blood mixes with clear pericardial fluid that flows from the mouth and nose, soaking into the cloth along with Jerusalem limestone dust from around the face. Pollen from Ziziphus, Spina, Christi, a local Christ's thorn shrub, clings to the damp fibers. Almost everything that lands on this little face cloth, blood, fluid, dust, thorn pollen, will later show up on the larger shroud, giving investigators a forensic link with matching chemical and botanical signatures. The sudarium stays on as the nails are freed and the body is lowered. It will remain under the larger burial sheet until, inside the tomb, it is folded and set aside by itself, exactly as John's Gospel records. Next, the full-length shroud takes over.
I love him because he first loved me.
You know, I've been thinking the speed of light was always the standard growing up. Nothing faster than the speed of light. Then I thought, there is something faster than that. It's the speed of thought. We can think faster than that light can travel. I'll give you an example of that. There's 200 billion trillion stars in the known galaxy. That's not just some guy making that shit up. That's a real smart person that's done studies on this universe. 200 billion trillion stars. How many planets would that be if they averaged 5 apiece? It's such a massive thing to think about. There's no point in even thinking about it.
Well, then it goes deeper than that. First of all, in the center of every galaxy is a supermassive black hole that I think is, 1/2 of 1% of the mass of the entire galaxy? So the larger the galaxy, the larger the supermassive black hole. And there's real speculation that if you went through that black hole, you reach another universe with also hundreds of billions of galaxies, each with hundreds of billions of stars. Each one of those galaxies has a supermassive black hole. You go through that, another universe. Hundreds of billions of galaxies, hundreds of billions of black holes. And then there's dimensions. This is the real speculation when people start talking about UAPs and alien life, and there's 2 thoughts. One thought, well, there's more than 2 thoughts. One thought is that they are us from the future. Another thought is they're people, they're things, they're intelligent life forms, maybe even artificial intelligence, something that has been created from other galaxies that is physically transported here. And then the other thought is there's interdimensional travel, that there are beings from somewhere that are capable of visiting this dimension that we exist in. But they exist in something, so they are here all the time. They're just here in a way that we have no ability to access them. But they can access us.
Okay.
Time, and I've heard you say this, that's something we made up.
Right.
There's no such thing as time.
Right. This is the only time, right now.
Yeah, it's gone already.
Yep.
It's here, it's gone.
The universe is so big we can't even wrap our head around it, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's a grain of sand. Maybe it's not even a grain of sand. Maybe it's an atom. Maybe it's not even an atom. Maybe it's a subatomic particle. Maybe the whole thing is fractal. What we are and what this planet is. Have you ever seen a map of the known universe in comparison to a neuron in the human brain? If you constantly expand further and further out, that this entire universe is an atom.
It's a part of a much larger organism that exists in another universe.
Wow.
That is infinitely large. So that's a brain cell, and that's galaxies. When you look at that, I mean, goddamn, those things look the same. They look the same. If they are the same, if that is what a brain cell is, and that the entire universe is a part of the brain of an infinitely large individual that's a part of a civilization, and then it just keeps going and going and going and going.
Does anyone ever grasp it for a split second and it goes?
When this second sun hit, you're gonna see completely different beings. Remember I was talking to you guys about the dragons, the air dragons, and some people was like, air dragons, what the hell is he talking about? Is he high? No, all of our birds were dragons, the same ones that they show you on the movies. But remember, when the planet fell in frequency, our dragons fell in frequency, and they now fly in our sky as falcons and eagles and birds. Facts. Alright? But we have been rising back in frequency. This is what this planetary shift is about, people. We are rising back in frequency, so everything will be coming back into its original form, its natural state. Alright? This is why you are about to start seeing a lot of these beings, these magical beings, these gnomes and elves and fairies and all the trolls and all this shit that you thought was just a fairy tale that they made up. How? Human beings are soulless beings, so they lack creativity. They lack creativity. I repeat, a human being ain't never made nothing. Ain't never wrote nothing down that he ain't see do already before he existed. We are gods. We existed before time. We witnessed the rays of the sun being constructed. Y'all don't remember that? Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Because remember, I'm you, you, me. We are all one. You don't remember that we set back the gods. We not worried about the ages who don't remember. Let them not remember. I'm talking to the gods and the goddesses. They will never forget. Your powers was taken from you. You were lied to. You were enslaved and taught that you were nothing more than a human being that existed in Africa.
It looks like AI to me. Ooh. What is it? Ooh. That's Angel.
So these girls went into a thrift store and they saw this Bible, and apparently they didn't even charge them for the Bible. The Bible was free. You know, at a thrift store, things will cost like $1, $3. This Bible was free, and they took this Bible, and when they opened the Bible, So they open the Bible and they see that the words are upside down. Like the Bible is upright, but the titles are upside down. And I've never seen a Bible like that. Y'all can let me know if y'all have seen a Bible like that. But the words are upside down. Then to make matters worse, they put the Bible on their dashboard and they were about to leave. And you will not believe what happened.
What?
The alternator just blew out. Just big boom. And then it just started leaking. Car just breaks. So I say this to say that when you are buying objects, I don't care what it is, from a thrift shop, from any type of store, from any place, and it's been used by someone else, you probably need to use your discernment and pray over those things before you bring it into your spaces, your car, your house, your bedroom. You need to, because I've seen spirits and demonic things attach themselves to objects and to things like that. I've seen witches do things where they manipulate things that you may think are of God. Like a Bible, you wouldn't think that a witch can go and do something with, but they do. They go and they put little spells on it. They put little incantations on it, and you don't know it because it looks normal on the outside. But when you open it up, you see things are weird on the inside. If you are buying things from these places, whether it's lamps or clocks, anything from these thrift stores or from random people, you need to pray over that thing before you bring it into your dwelling. Because if you don't, things like this can happen. And y'all might say, oh, that is just weird timing, coincidental. This doesn't mean... No, this is real. It happens all the time. All the time. Watch what you bring into your house or into your car. Because I'm telling you, if it's a strong enough spell, a strong enough warlock, or a strong enough witch, I'm telling you, they will find a way to enact those spells and bad things on you.
Images of the largest molecule ever have been released, but builders of the largest temple on Earth may have done it first and hid it in these sneaky little Nagas. This one's important. What you're looking at is a micro to macro, as above, so below geometry in action. This is called the trilobite molecule. The orbital pattern of electrons creates this shape, which you can also create using water in a speaker, which is also reflected in a physical organism this molecule is named after, the trilobite. It's 500 million years old. These latest images just came out in early June, but this pattern has been popular since antiquity, particularly in the East. Snakes, like the Naga, have been used to depict vibrations everywhere from Egypt to America to India and Cambodia. The same vibrational pattern can be seen on this big Naga. Just to drive this one home, that pattern on the belly of the Naga can be exactly duplicated with water on a speaker. Now, what those molecules could do in water is the crazy part. These things are absolute units. They are huge molecules, and they're capable of detecting even the faintest electromagnetic fields. Hypothetically, what would happen if we put them in the structured liquid crystal form of water? Exclusion zone water could form a corral around these giant molecules, which would make each one of them a quantum bit in the largest quantum computer on Earth. A living quantum fluid. What could that do? We're talking subatomic cymatics. That could architect and entangle matter. Programmable molecular geometry that you could animate from anywhere. An organic device that would allow you to read and respond to a particular environment. I made a few videos analyzing the new LiDAR data for Encore. It showed its footprint is nearly identical to a CMOS sensor in a modern digital camera. The LiDAR data is even more accurate, but what it exposed was something I haven't talked about. The CMOS sensor contains a bunch of these micro lenses that convert light to electricity. That LiDAR scan revealed a bunch of very similar features, yet again. For a computer to work, you need a clock, a timing mechanism, which is exactly what Encore is. The equinox and solstices are both marked by the towers. It literally measures time. The temple's geometry is almost exactly a high-frequency oscillator used in digital timekeeping. Cambodian temples also have this unique interior design that almost exactly resembles a corrugated horn antenna. Antennas have to be aimed at something to send and receive signals. The entire Encore complex is aligned with the Draco constellation. These Nagas guard the bridge heading to the temple. Is there a better way of illustrating that connection? So is Encore actually a quantum anchor? Obviously, our quantum science is still in its infancy. This seems impossible. But I guess I made it my job now to connect consciousness, life, ancients, and sound. That link will take you to my latest work if you're interested. Or if out-of-the-box ideas get your panties in a knot, you can always say that's a stretch.
Interesting.
Naga.
West Virginia. Is it safe to go there? Nobody's there. This is a ghost town. Dude, what are you doing? Just the end of the road.
A jaw-dropping discovery in Florida. A creature with a dog's head and a shark's body has stunned scientists. The locals say it's won over their hearts.
Dubbed the shark dog, this
Shark
bizarre
dog.
creature was spotted off Boca Grande's coast, baffling marine biologists.
This creature defies biology. It has canine teeth and a shark's gills. We're testing DNA to see if it's a hybrid or something entirely new.
Oh my
Dog's head
goodness.
and a shark's body. It appears friendly, wagging its tail at boaters, but its origin remains a complete mystery.
Doggy doggy.
First reported by fishermen, the shark dog has been seen frolicking near Boca Grande's beaches.
It swam right up to us, wagged its tail, or, well, fin, like it wanted treats.
Theories range from genetic mutation to an ancient species resurfacing, but its friendly demeanor has locals both
No
charmed and curious.
way.
It doesn't seem aggressive at all. Honestly, it acts more like a lost puppy than a predator.
For now, authorities urge caution. Though playful, it is still part shark, and exactly how it came to exist remains a Florida mystery. Part pup, part predator, the shark dog is making waves. Is it a friend from the deep or a riddle of nature? Be sure to follow and let us know what you think in the comments below.
I dislike how we cannot tell the truth from fake anymore.
What we will do in heaven. We will have feasts. All animals will be harmless. We get to build our dream houses.
We're gonna worship God.
We will worship all of the time. We will know everybody. We will party and have fun. We can meet people we never met. We will talk to angels.
We'll talk to God.
We will have no pain.
Did you know
I'll
you
be
can
there
create
one
a
day.
tiny world with life inside? A sealed ecosystem that could possibly outlive you? This little world in a jar came entirely from a local river. Sand, stones, plants, and water all gathered from one place. Arrange all the components in the jars you like, fill in the remaining water, and seal it. At first, the water looks really cloudy, but in the time lapse, you can see how it clears up more and more. Then the stones and plants start to show, and you can spot tiny shifts in the sand, a sign that something is happening down there. Between the roots, a tiny river creature appears. It's a small but clear sign that life has already taken hold in this little ecosystem. Tiny bubbles on the plants show that photosynthesis has started. Oxygen is being released. There's even a tiny fish swimming around in the jar, moving carefully through the plants and shadows. And if you look closely, you'll spot some worm-like creatures slowly crawling through the sand, already beginning to shape the ecosystem from below. In the next 10 days, you can see the plants slowly growing, stretching toward the light. With each day, more oxygen bubbles appear on their leaves, and all around, tiny movements in the water and sand show that life is getting more active. The tiny creatures keep moving through the water, and the ecosystem continues to grow and evolve. And that's how I set up my ecosystem in a jar.
How did the fish just spawn in?
Robots. Some of the ink, Antiquitech. Ladies and gentlemen, made by the Freemasons. In my newest book, Return to Hyperborea, I go into more detail about the origin of the Freemasons, who they really are, so do check that out if you're interested in more on the subject.
Now every mechanical device just broke after a year or two.
think you're
Tall enough for Nephilims?
ready for this one. This is Alien Races Part 3, the Pleiadians. So these guys are typically what we refer to as the Nordics, and they're said to be this benevolent species of extraterrestrials that visit Earth a lot, and they've been guiding us for millennia. And you pretty much can't tell the difference between them and us. They could be walking around us and you wouldn't know it. Except, on average, they're taller. The females are between 6.5 to 7 feet tall, and the males are between 6.5 to 8 feet tall on average. And they have these uniquely colored eyes, long blonde hair, and they live for 1,000 years. Many think that ancient myths of sky gods or angelic beings point back to early encounters with these Pleiadians. And even today, people are still reporting them, with the 1950s and 60s having a big uptick in the number of people reporting encounters with them all around the world. Now, we call these beings Pleiadians because they're from the Pleiades star system, some 444 light years from Earth, but according to several contactees, their home planet is called Era, which orbits the star Taygeta. So they refer to themselves as the Erins or the Taygetans. And according to experiencers who have interacted with them, they're said to follow the cosmic law of one. And they also believe that all intelligent life in the universe shares a common ancestor. They're also part of the Galactic Council and participate in the Melchizedek Starseed program, meaning that some Pleiadians incarnate their souls on Earth, so some of you out there could be a starseed. And we always get the question, why don't these beings help us directly? Well, much like in Star Trek, there's apparently a kind of prime directive that says they can't interfere with developing civilizations, but they can send their starseed souls to help guide humanity from within and kind of in the background. Are you a starseed? Leave a comment and let me know what you want to hear about next.
So basically they're European.